Number 11. The Academy ransacks an island. In 1909, nearly 200 naturalists from all over Europe began arriving on Clare Island off Ireland's west coast. They spent the next 3 years ransacking the place from top to bottom. This was Ireland's official response to Charles Darwin's ideas about the Galapagos, evolution and islands. And if you sit for a minute here, I'll tell you why the Royal Irish Academy organised the project and why they're doing it all again now, a century later. Charles Darwin's work on the Galapagos prompted scientists to study other islands. They wanted to know what plants and animals were found on islands and how they got there. In the 1890s, several British and Irish naturalists studied part of Valentia Island off County Kerry, and a few years later, a Belfast naturalist called Robert Lloyd Prager surveyed Lamb Bay, a small island in Dublin Bay. Prager was probably the greatest Irish naturalist of the 20th century, and he was fascinated by islands. By 1909, he had persuaded the big scientific institutions in Ireland and Britain to study a large Atlantic island, and they chose Clare Island off County Mayo because of its size, and because it was a reasonable distance from the influence of the mainland, and because it was still easy to reach. Prager once said that his scientists ransacked Clare Island, but actually the project was very organised. It was a comprehensive inventory of all the plants and animals living on the island and in the sea around and on the neighbouring mainland. When it was over, the scientists had identified nearly 8,500 species of plants and animals, and 120 of these were new to science and had never been described before, mostly small animals and plants like insects and tiny seaweeds. The species that were found on Clare Island were so similar to those on the mainland that the scientists concluded the island and the mainland were once connected by a land bridge, presumably when sea levels were lower. The survey was a groundbreaking project, and the Royal Irish Academy published all the results in 1915. Robert Lloyd Prager, who organised the Clare Island survey, was the leading Irish naturalist of his day. He was born in County Down in 1865 to a prosperous Presbyterian family. His paternal grandfather had a Dutch and Czech background, and Prager means native of Prague. Prager trained as an engineer, but his passion was botany, so he gave up engineering to work at the National Library in Dublin, and that would leave more time for botanical rambling. Although during World War I, his fieldwork almost stopped when he and his German wife were nearly interned. Internationally, Prager is remembered for his scientific work on two complex botanical groups, the sempervivums and the sedums. He wrote many books, including a very popular account of his travels around Ireland called The Way That I Went, which is still in print. He was a member of the Royal Irish Academy and later its president, and he was also the founding president of the heritage organisation An Taisce. Today, the Royal Irish Academy is back on Clare Island for a new survey to see if anything has changed after a century and to see what the latest high-tech equipment will discover. 24 teams from around Ireland, Britain, Canada and elsewhere are taking part, and they are looking at everything from archaeology and botany to history and zoology. The reports from this new Clare Island survey are on sale in the Academy. You'll see them on display in the inner hall. And ask in the library to see the lovely guidebook published for the Academy's Darwin and Prager exhibition in 2009. Next, we end our tour back in the library reading room with a poem by Seamus Heaney.